Hey honeys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another practice with me. As you can see, we're in a different setting today as I'm experimenting a little with recording a live class. Just see if I can communicate the community vibe a little bit more on here. So I hope you enjoy. I've got a delicious, slow flow, hip focus practice coming at you. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. I'll see you on the mat. And this is really awkward because I feel like I'm about to sneeze. It's gonna go away, okay. So what I have got planned for us this morning is to get into the hips in a real nice, nourishing way. So opening up across the front of the body, of course, at the same time, and providing lots of mobility, lots of spaciousness within the hips. Anyone got any tricky hips going on? Achy lower back, yeah? Okay, cool. You're hopefully gonna love me for this one. It's not too much of a strenuous practice. I will say there's probably gonna be some places of big stretch in there, particularly for the top of the glutes and maybe the outer hips. But yeah, just a nice Sunday morning practice. That sound okay? Yeah, if you said no, I don't know what I'd do instead, but yeah, we're gonna crack on. So feel free to slowly come to lie all the way down, all right? And as always, if you want to prop the body up a little bit, you are more than welcome to do so. Get cozy and comfortable. And I also did forget to mention, there are some blankets in the room. So if you are feeling a bit chilly, give me a little wave. I'll grab a blanket for you. Everyone okay? Yeah, beautiful. All right. So just taking a few moments, as we always do, just to really settle in. To feel that support of the mat, the support of the earth, just allowing yourself to get heavier and heavier. And maybe this in itself is all that's needed for now. All that's needed in this moment. So of course, indulge in this as much as you wish. And know that of course there's nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to do. And after all, it is our sleepy Sunday. So maybe you are still feeling a little bit sleepy today. Or maybe you've come to practice feeling fairly alert, spacious, alive. Maybe it's the exact opposite. But as always, whatever it is you are bringing to your practice, know that this is enough. And as always, you can make this practice exactly what you need it to be, whether it's just a moment of quiet, calm. Perhaps you are hoping to create space in the body, or maybe you're hoping to create a little bit of space within that beautiful, bright mind of yours. Perhaps this past week the mind has felt busy, congested, noisy. Maybe you felt like you're constantly being drawn in multiple directions, pulled left, right, side to side. Maybe there's been lots of things occupying your focus. So perhaps taking a few moments here to allow the focus to return back to you. Returning back to you and returning to whatever it is you feel like you need. Perhaps not just in your practice, but maybe throughout this day. How can we make this Sunday the most nourishing Sunday of them all, perhaps? And maybe you have plans for the rest of the day, maybe you don't. But again, how can you make this Sunday exactly what you need it to be? So again, feel free to spend these few moments just landing, just arriving. Dropping in little by little, bit by bit, maybe allowing the awareness to slowly move throughout the body, move throughout the mind, move with the breath. And perhaps the more time we spend here just listening, the more we notice, the more we feel. And perhaps you're recognizing the many different qualities, sensations. And maybe we actually realize we're experiencing a lot here. Maybe we're still figuring things out. But as always, feel free to let this be the time needed, maybe just to think a few things through, to process, to actually honor what's here, rather than perhaps just moving past it, moving to the next thing, distracting ourselves. Let's dive in. And again, whatever's here, whatever you come across, know that it's enough. And then I just invite you to have a few more slow, steady drinks of breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Perhaps again, a couple more. Big breath in. Big breath out. Again, indulge in this as much as you like. Let's take one more here all together. Big breath in. Big breath out. And how did it feel just then to kind of welcome in this newness, that freshness into the body? And maybe those breaths just then felt like a call to action in some way, that little spark of inspiration needed to perhaps slowly wriggle, slowly move. So perhaps you start to do exactly that, welcoming these little movements into the fingertips, into the toes. Soft little movements through the front of the face, maybe. Maybe a little wriggle through the eyebrows, the nose, the lips, the cheeks, the jaw. And as always, you can start as small as you'd like. You don't need to dive into a big movement straight away. You don't need to launch yourself into anything here, but just let it slowly build at a pace that serves you. Again, we're making this exactly what we need it to be, exactly what you need it to be. So maybe savor that slowness, savor the subtlety. And sure, if you want to gradually let it build into some bigger movement, then okay, maybe it becomes a roll through the wrists, a roll through the ankles, a turn of the head side to side. Maybe you want to take a nice big energizing stretch along the earth, reaching the arms up and above. Again, go ahead, beautiful. Energy reaching out to those fingertips, to the back of the room. And just seeing how much space you are able to take up here. Maybe there's even a few clicks or cracks as you go. And then of course, let's slowly gather everything. Let's slowly bundle ourselves up. You're going to circle the arms down, draw the thighs into the belly, the knees into the chest. Notice that contrast maybe. Notice how it feels to come from this moment of expansion to then this subtle kind of drawing in. And perhaps notice the benefits to both. So maybe as you curl up here, feeling the spine nestle into the earth a little bit more. Each individual vertebrae rooting. And if you've practiced with me already this week, perhaps you've noticed, again, this focus on the spine that we've had. So again, feel free to bring the awareness to the spine and how it feels to nestle and how it feels to be supported. And then we're going to slowly start to circle the knees round a little bit more. Maybe we'll circle the knees round in the same direction as one another, or perhaps you start to send the knees in opposite directions to one another. So starting to find that little bit of openness within the hips. And as I've already mentioned, we do have a little bit of a hip focus today. Okay, and maybe you're already noticing how spacious, how free you are feeling. Or again, maybe we're feeling, again, this resistance. And there's no set pattern or structure, so if you want to change the direction, then go ahead. It's all good. Beautiful. You're going to take another big breath in. Big breath out. From here, just keep hold of the right leg. Send the left leg away. Maybe that left foot just simply comes down to the earth, or maybe you want to extend that left leg out ahead of you, up to you. Let's just circle the right knee round and round a couple times. Now, maybe there's, again, a bit more space here. See how it feels to let that right knee fall out wide to the right-hand side, okay? Maybe it comes across the body a little bit. Keep it moving. Keep that circular motion round. Beautiful. And again, change the direction whenever feels good. All right. And we might start to take up a bit more space here, but of course just honor what's around you, okay? Notice how you're already feeling in the body, but if it feels okay to do so, maybe starting to lengthen that right leg and maybe start to circle the entire leg through space, okay? You might kick out through the heel, you might point out through the toes, you might do a little bit of both here. Beautiful, nice. And of course be a little bit mindful of cups of teas and anything, nice. But again, taking up space, allowing those toes to explore the sky up above. Okay, and again, find that little hint of freedom within the hips, and there might also be a sneaky bit of kind of core engagement here. Nice, you're just gonna keep that going for maybe one more big breath in. Big breath out. Okay. And then feel free to slowly bend at that right knee. Maybe you give it another little hug, another little squeeze, okay? And then you're gonna quite simply change it over. You're gonna let that right leg fall away, draw the left thigh in, okay? okay? And again, let's start with the knee bent. And again, in a similar way, just circling the knee around and around, seeing how it feels to let the left knee fall out to the side, that lengthening through the inner thigh, that external rotation, that opening within the hips. And sure, maybe it feels a bit clunky, maybe you're noticing differences from one side to the other. But again, just kind of shifting or kind of stirring things up a little bit. Shifting any stagnant energy that might be present within the hips, all right? But again, little by little, bit by bit. So again, you don't need to launch yourselves into anything. But if you wish to, maybe starting to extend that left leg. And again, you can stretch up to the toes, kick out through the heel, beautiful. If you want to use the left hand to help you in any way to kind of guide the leg around, then okay. Again, sometimes that comforting touch is needed just as we start to explore, as we start to get a bit more curious as to how the body wants to move. And again, change direction whenever you wish. There's no real set pattern or structure. And if you want to invite a bend back into the knee at any point, again, okay, beautiful. And just seeing how much space we can take up, exploring the space around you as you slowly find more space within you. You're going to take another big breath in. Big breath out. Beautiful, okay, and then again, bending back into that left knee, give it another little hug, another little squeeze, okay. And then from here, you're gonna let go of that left leg too. Beautiful, okay. Now from here, again, we're just gonna be mindful of those around us with this one, but what's gonna happen, you're gonna come to a fetal position. Let's start on the left-hand side. So you're gonna curl up on your left-hand side, all right? Take it nice and easy. All right, maybe start by making a little pillow out of the hands for the head to rest on. And just see how it feels to lie on that left side, stacking the knees, stacking the ankles. You can draw the thighs up into the belly as much as you wish to, beautiful. And maybe actually just take a moment feeling so safely, so lovingly bundled up, the earth supporting you, the earth rising up to greet you. Again, everything you could possibly need is already right here with you. Okay. And then from here, you're going to extend the arms over to the left side of the room. You're going to let the palms come on top of one another, okay? So left fingertips out to the left side of the room, back of the hand down towards the earth, and that right palm just resting on top, right? You also want to make sure you've got a bit of space up above you. So those to the back of the room, if you need to have a little shuffle further forwards along the mat, you're more than welcome to do so, all right? As what's going to happen with your right arm, okay, you're going to trace this little circle. You're going to circle that right arm up and above behind the head, okay? To open out to the right side of the room into a little bit of a twist. If you find your neighbor back behind you, cool, that's all right. Say a little hello. And then from here, you open out, maybe the shoulder blade sinks to the earth, and then quite simply, you're gonna circle that arm up and above and come back to where you started, okay? Now, you're gonna keep moving through this. The aim is to kind of keep the fingertips in contact with the earth the entire time. So letting the fingertips drag up and above as you circle them out to the right-hand side, and then slowly circle them back. Beautiful, okay? And I just really invite you in these few moments to be nice and heavy to the earth, okay? Nice. Feeling the mat mold to the shape of you as you kind of twist, turn a little bit here as you take that little roll on the earth. Notice how, again, the mat moves with you here. Beautiful. Nice. Really well done. And maybe just taking that, let's open out one more time, shall we? So open the right fingertips out to the right side of the room one more time, and then let that right arm be as heavy as it wishes to be. Maybe again, right shoulder blade sinks to the earth, just pause. Slight twist again, gentle wringing out of the spine. Again, it doesn't need to be the deepest twist you've ever taken. And then just breathe into the ribs. Okay, how does it feel to let the breath now almost do the work here? So physically, you can just be here. The breath does it for you. Your lungs do it for you. So feel that rise and fall. Feel that expansion, contraction. Let this be enough. Let this be it for now. And then quite simply take another deep drink of breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. And then quite simply make your way back the way you came. Okay, you're gonna slowly roll it all the way back to that left-hand side. Nice. Okay, then again, just exist for a moment or so. And then we're going to gradually make our way into that on the other side, okay? So it's going to be this lazy roll all the way back onto your backs to then bring yourself onto your right-hand side. And yes, let there be a little shuffle through the hips, all right? Shuffle the hips, shuffle the shoulders, so you're staying nice and cozy on the mats here, all right? It's beautiful. And maybe again, you make a little pillow out of the hands for the head to rest on. And again, hopefully that same feeling of safety, comfort, support is still present, still here. Nice, really well done. And then again, you're going to send the fingertips over to the right side of the room. So extend that right arm, and the left palm just sits on top. And you might be palm to palm, or you might be palm to inside of the wrist, maybe. And so it's the left arm that's going to take you into the movement. So when you're ready, left arm circles up and above, reaches to the back of the room, and then opens out to the left side of the room. Beautiful. Maybe that left shoulder blade sinks to the earth. And then gradually make your way back. And again, you're going to keep those fingertips in contact with the earth the entire time as best as you can. And you set the pace here. Decide how slow or how fast you'd like to move through this. Beautiful. Okay. And again, indulge in that slowness. No rush, no need to race, no need to force or fight our way through. Just kind of delicately letting the fingertips drag along the earth. And again, the mat molds the shape of you. The mat moves with you. The earth moves with you. It's like everything kind of gives way for you in order to explore this movement, in order to explore this kind of opening, closing, expansion, contraction. Everything really is expanding, contracting all the while. That ebb and flow, that rhythm. And you're just moving alongside it, drifting, floating, whilst feeling so supported, so held. And there's that little opening across the heart space as you go. Nice. Let's again have one more moment to open, sweeping that left arm out to the left side of the room, and then again, just pause. Just exist in the shape, that slight twist to the spine. Beautiful. And if you need to change anything, if you need to adjust anything here, then again, it's all good. Maybe there are a few subtle clicks or cracks here. Notice what the body communicates to you. Notice what the breath whispers to you. Again, nothing else needs to be done. Let the breath do everything for you. Let the breath welcome in that freshness, that newness, that life force. And let it slowly be communicated throughout the entirety of you. Okay. And then again, take another slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. And then from here, again, you're going to slowly bring everything to a close, circling that left arm up and above. And again, just a moment where you curl up on your right-hand side. Beautiful. Nestle in, indulge in this. Okay. One more big breath in. Big breath out. And feel free to take as much time as needed. You're now going to use the hands to help you to slowly rise up to seated, okay? So press down to the fingertips, slowly peel the body away from the earth. And again, let there be as many little wriggles, as many little adjustments through the hips. And as you do come to seated here, it's going to be your Baddha Konasana. You are going to bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall out wide. If you want to prop yourself up on a block, that's cool, to maybe allow for that tilt forwards within the pelvis. Nice. And maybe we give the feet a little bit of love. So as the hands come down to the feet, give the toes a little bit of a squeeze. All right, and again, there is a little bit of a chill in the air, so maybe you want to warm up the tootsies a little bit, okay? You might even take yourself through a little intuitive self-massage. That's always okay. Wriggling through the toes, the spaces in between, the balls of the feet, the arches, the heels, the Achilles maybe, okay? And you can keep that going even as we take that in, how to rise up tall. And then as you exhale, there's going to be that hinge of the hips, that slow melt forwards, okay? Now with the arms, you're of course more than welcome to maybe let the elbows just kind of stay nicely tucked into the sides of the waist. If you feel like there's a bit more space to dive forward, you can let the elbows kind of glide in front of the shins, that's up to you. And if you want to make it a bit more of an active fold, maybe the elbows kind of press into the inner creases of the knees, just to guide the knees down towards the earth. But again, it's a Sunday. So if you want to keep things nice and passive this morning, then by all means, okay. Let the head be heavy, dive forwards as best as you can, release with the back of the neck. And maybe now letting the breath kind of travel down the length of your spine, weaving in between each vertebrae. And traveling down to your very base, your very root, your hips, your pelvis, and that is the space that we are focusing on more specifically today. But again, everything in the body is connected. So maybe there is some tightness somewhere in the body, and that might be manifesting elsewhere. So if there's a resistance through the spine, maybe there's also a tightness in the hips, vice versa. And finding where else we can soften and see if we can then inspire, influence these moments of release elsewhere in the body. So even just a little release through the jaw here, letting the bottom jaw release, let it glide from left to right. And letting that be communicated, that release, travel down the length of your spine to the hips, to the pelvis. Allowing them to let go. Even if it's just for a teeny tiny moment, a glimpse, then okay. You're going to take another slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. And feel free to keep the head real heavy as you slowly stack up bone by bone, okay? Again, drag this out as much as you wish. The head is the final thing to lift, and then melt those shoulders down, all right? Beautiful. Let's bring the hands towards the knees. Let's help them come to a close, and then step the feet a little bit wider apart. Lean into the hands back behind you. It's just gonna be that nice lazy sway of the knees from side to side. Let them drop one way, then the other. Beautiful. That gentle roll across the very base of your spine. Okay, take another big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. From here, lift the knees to point up to the sky. Maybe you wriggle the feet closer towards one another. You're more than welcome to start with the hands to the backs of the thighs here. You're going to rise up nice and tall. Be really light on the toes. You might stay here. You might play with lifting one foot, then the other, almost like this little toe tap scenario. Or perhaps you're happy to lift both feet. So again, a little bit of core engagement here, just a sneaky little bit. And if you are comfortable with hovering the feet, see how it feels to kind of close the gap between your knees and your chest, shoulders down. Of course, make sure we're still breathing here. I know it might suddenly feel like we're holding on for dear life, okay? Big drink of breath in. Big breath out. If it feels comfortable to do so, maybe release the hands, okay? Yes, there's a moment of strength, but there's also softness here. Soften through the fingertips, soften through the toes, soften through the face, the chest, the collarbones. Beautiful. Again, you are strong here. You're more than capable. It's all good. You're not here for too long. Take a breath. Take an exhale. We all look like we're conjuring lots of spells here. Ooh, take another big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. Okay, from here, you're going to slowly tip it down, okay? As this happens, maybe bring your left foot across to your right, okay? Left foot across to your right. You're going to then guide that right foot on top to cross over to the left-hand side. There's a lot of left and rights going on here, okay? So seeing how it feels to sit like so, all right? Don't worry if that right sit bone is lifted off. We're going to rise it nice and tall to the spine as best as we can. You're going to bring your right hand back behind you. Inhale, go ahead and send your left fingertips up toward to the sky. Rise up high. Notice that length and space you can create. And then maintain that length and space as you start to bring this left elbow down to hook to the outside edge of your right knee. Beautiful. And then perhaps gazing to the right side of the room, you might even have a little glance back behind you if that feels okay. Beautiful, well done. Now, if it does feel nicer to release that bottom leg, so your left leg, and maybe extend it out ahead of you, go ahead, by all means, all right? Beautiful. Nice. Big drinks of breath into the belly, even though we're feeling maybe slightly compressed. Ribs still find a way to expand, collarbones lift, diaphragm still shifts down, the breath still finds a way here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Okay. As you inhale, you're going to gradually unravel, bring it all the way through the center. Now, if you're happy with the legs like so, let's maybe now see how it feels to kind of bring your right leg further over to the left-hand side. So you perhaps come onto the outside edges of both feet here. So perhaps we're tying ourselves more into a bit of a knot, all right? Now we're going to encourage that right sit bone to land. So if you feel like you're shifting over to your left, maybe bring your left hand down by your left-hand side just to guide that right sit bone down to the earth. Again, you can prop yourself up on a block here, or you can keep that bottom leg, your left leg, extended out ahead of you. Just makes it a bit more comfortable, all right? And then wherever you are with the legs, maybe it's fingertips to the earth at either side of the hips. Just have a moment to rise up nice and tall. Think about lifting the ribs up and out of the pelvis, okay? You're gonna take a big breath in. Big breath out. Let's see how it feels to reach the right fingertips a little bit further away from us. Left arm is then going to soar up to the sky. Take it into that seated side body stretch. Beautiful. Maybe think about rolling that top shoulder back. Take the gaze up if that feels okay. Nice. If it feels comfortable to maybe sink into that right elbow, let that right shoulder fall down, then cool. Beautiful. One more big breath in. Big breath out. And then as you inhale, slowly rise it all the way up. Let's see how it feels the other side. So you're going to creep those left fingertips away from you. Right arm up and above. On this side, again, think about anchoring that right sit bone down. So maybe there's a little push down to these left fingertips to shift the weight across into that right sit bone. Okay, and again, right fingertips reach up and above. Maybe it feels a little bit more potent one way compared to the other, okay? Nice. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Now again, as we inhale, you're going to slowly rise it all the way up. Bring the fingertips to either side of the hips. Give yourself that little bit of a push. Rise up tall. You might stay here, or as you exhale, you might start to tip it forwards, okay? Think about laying the belly to that top thigh. Maybe the hands kind of softly take hold of the feet. Again, give the feet that comforting little squeeze. Maybe you want to reach the fingertips out ahead of you, up to you, and then release the back of the neck as best as you can. So yes, this might be where we're feeling a bit more of a potent stretch, a bit more potent sensation through the top of the glutes, the outer hips. And again, it's a Sunday, right? It's early in our morning, so chances are things are feeling somewhat resistant, okay? Breathe into those spaces where it feels like you're gripping, you're holding on, and just send that compassion there as best as you can. We might be holding on for various reasons here. Maybe we're unsure, maybe there's a level of uncertainty. Perhaps there's certain emotions here that the body has been storing for who knows how long, right? So again, just send that compassion to these places, and perhaps little by little, they release, they let go. But again, nothing dramatic needs to happen. It's just yoga. It's just stretch. It's just breath. It's just this. And I'm just going to take some of the deepest, most mindful breaths we can manage here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Nice, let's go for two more. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more, big breath in. Big breath out. Nice, really well done. Now keep the head heavy as you slowly roll it up bone by bone, okay? Let the head be the final thing to lift, and again, melt those shoulders down. Then feel free to use the hands to help you to help the legs unravel, okay? And maybe it feels like this sudden rush of blood flow all the way down to those toes. Go ahead and extend the toes out ahead of you for a moment. Let them wriggle, let them roll, okay? Maybe lean into the hands for a second, okay? Beautiful. Nice, just take a full breath in here. Full breath out. Okay, then again, we're going to start to draw everything in, draw the thighs towards you. Maybe again, hands taking hold of the backs of the thighs. You're going to think about rising up nice and tall, set those shoulders down. Maybe again, a little toe tap scenario, or maybe you're happy hovering both feet. And again, you could keep the hands on, or maybe you want to take the hands off. And again, you can conjure all the spells you'd like, okay? Again, softness and strength, strength and softness, both are at play here. Both are valid, both are needed, okay? Maybe trying to close the gap between knees and chest a little bit. Breath stays consistent, steady inhale, steady exhale. One more big breath in, big breath out. Beautiful, really well done. Now from here, you're going to slowly start to tip it down. And then from here, you're going to bring your right leg underneath you over to your left. Guide the left leg to cross on top, okay? Beautiful. And again, first of all, you're not going to worry about anchoring down to that left sit bone. In fact, maybe you actually let it lift for a second. We can worry about it in a moment or so. And then find that length and space to the spine as you start to bring your left hand back behind you. If you want to bring a block underneath that hand as well, that's cool. And then you're going to send right fingertips up to the sky. And again, feel like you're being drawn up high. Lift the chest. Nice. And then slowly start to bring the elbow down. So maybe hook to the outside edge of that left knee. Use that as leverage to anchor you round into that twist. Taking your gaze round as much as feels comfortable. Again, nothing needs to be forced, all right? Making sure that we can still comfortably breathe here. And again, trusting that the breath finds its way. Okay. And again, you're drawing thigh to belly, belly to thigh. Meeting yourself here. Meeting in the middle. Okay, and even in the twist, you might have a little play with seeing how it feels to kind of shift that left sit bone down to the earth, rise up through the heart. So maybe that gives you a little bit more of an extra stretch through the outer left thigh, maybe. Okay, one more inhale here. One more exhale. And as inhale and slowly bring it all the way through the center. Beautiful. Okay, now from here, this left leg crossed on top. See if we can bring it a little bit further around to the right. So again, you come onto the outside edges of both feet. Still the option to either prop yourself up on a block or maybe extend the bottom leg, the right leg out ahead of you now. And this is where we are going to focus on anchoring down to that left sit bone. So can you feel both the sit bones rooting down to the earth? And again, maybe rising up nice and tall. One side might feel a little bit more tricksy than the other. That's certainly a case for me this morning, so we'll see how we go, okay? So from here, again, push the ground away, rise up nice and tall, and then we're gonna go to our left first of all. You're gonna creep the left fingertips away, and then you're gonna start to send that right arm up and above. So it's the same stretch through the side body, okay? But with the legs crossed the other way around, again, you might feel this slightly differently, okay? Beautiful. Chances are you might feel something, a little something within the front of the right hip flexor, okay? And again, send the breath down to that space as best as you can. Beautiful. Recognizing that, of course, the breath isn't just an act of the respiratory system, an act of the lungs. Again, it's a whole body, whole being process, deep down to that cellular level, okay? So the whole body benefits from these deep breaths you take. Beautiful. Go for one more inhale. One more exhale. And then as you inhale, you're gonna slowly rise all the way up and then start to creep those right fingertips away. Let's send that left arm up to the sky. And again, here, you're gonna think about rooting down to those right fingertips to shift the weight into that left sit bone, okay? Beautiful. It's almost like you wanna send your left side of the ribs, left side of the waist, over to the left side of the room. Nice. Maybe a little lift of the chin away from the chest. Okay. Big drink of breath in. Big breath out. Super. As you inhale, you're going to gradually rise it all the way up. Beautiful. Bring the fingertips to either side of the hips again and find that lift up through the chest. And maybe you stay here, or maybe that slight tip forwards. And again, it doesn't need to be this dramatic fold in half, okay? Maybe it's just a case of a little bow of the head forward, a little drop of the chin down towards the chest. Hands can stay either side of the hips, and you might actually have the fingertips pointing back behind you a little bit. So you've got that kind of push in the opposite direction. So you can push the fingertips to the back of the room while sending crown the head forwards and up, maybe. Or perhaps the fingertips reach out ahead. And really no right or wrong, it's just this. It's just the shape. It's just the stretch. And it's just your breath communicating what's here, what's rising as a result of this shape, as a result of this stretch. And again, maybe you're feeling a whole lot here. Maybe you're kind of like, Lauren, please stop talking, all right? That's okay too, all right? But just dive into that breath of yours. That's all I'm inviting you to do. Just to feel what's here and breathe through it. Okay. Couple more, big breath in. Big breath out. Let's go for one more big breath in. And that big breath out. Beautiful. From here, keep the head heavy. As you slowly start to roll it all the way through the spine, head rises, and again, melt those shoulders down. Nice. Use the hands to help the legs unravel, okay? And again, perhaps it's this sudden rush of blood flow all the way down towards the toes. Give the toes a little wriggle, ankles a little roll. And again, you can lean into the hands back behind you for a minute. It might actually feel quite nice. We've taken quite a few forward folds there, maybe a few side bends as well. So let's maybe now think about lifting up to the heart space. You can let the head drop back, puff the heart space up to the sky, and you can let the ribs flare a little bit here. Like this little sunbathe moment, and the sun is just starting to make an appearance right on cue. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Okay. And then slowly bring the head back through neutral. Let's slide the feet back in, but this time you're going to swing the ankles around to one side, bring yourself up onto your hands and onto our knees, okay? Now again, we might want a moment to free up the legs a little bit, so maybe go ahead and send one leg to the back, tuck the toes under, have a little shift of weight forwards and backwards, okay? So there's that lengthening out through the hamstrings, perhaps more so through the calf, maybe into the sole of the foot, all right? And of course, you're waking up through the wrists. How does it feel to bear weight down to the hands today? Take one more big breath in. Big breath out. Quite simply change it over. Fold that back knee in, send the other leg away. Same idea, tuck the toes under, shift the weight forwards and backwards. Beautiful. Okay, one more breath here. One more exhale. Okay. Folding that knee in underneath you. Couple rounds of cat-cows. As you inhale, send the belly down towards the earth, heart space forwards and up, lift the tailbone. And then of course, as you exhale, Tuck the chin towards the chest, tuck the tailbone under, rounding through the back. How's this feeling this morning, okay? So again, keep that going at your own soft, steady pace. That inhale to rise, smile the collarbones out ahead of you. And that exhale to drop the chin, round through the back. Beautiful. And again, maybe you're feeling this in various spaces within that spine of yours. Maybe there's some clunkiness going on within the lower back, or maybe some resistance through the upper back, or perhaps actually feeling fairly free today. Okay. And perhaps just taking one more full round, one more inhale to rise, one more exhale to dive down. Okay. And then as you inhale, slowly bring it to your neutral spine. It's going to be a brief little child's pose here. Feel free to wriggle the knees out a little bit wider. Press the hips back towards the heels. Reaching the fingertips foreheads, and forehead might come down to the earth, okay? Nice. See how it feels to just quite simply rest those hips back. Beautiful. Maybe even a little wriggle of the hips from side to side if you'd like. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, we're going to start to build up some more movements here. We're going to take it nice and steady. So what's going to happen first, as you inhale, you're going to rise the hips away from the heels, come back through to your tabletop. But as this happens, it's going to be a big step forwards with this right foot to the outside edge of this right hand. And of course, you can help it to get there. There's a moment where you're going to glide the hips forwards and down. You might rise up onto the fingertips. Think about hips low, heart space high, breath in. And then as you exhale, lift up out of the hips, you're going to simply send that right leg back where it came. Rest the hips back into that child's pose. Nice. Inhale, rise again through to that tabletop. Big step forwards with the left foot. And again, step that left foot to the edge of your mat, so a bit more space within the hips here. And again, think hips low, heart high. Inhale, rise it up and out. Send that left foot back, child's pose. You're going to keep that going side to side, all right? Inhale to rise. Perhaps an exhale as you step. An inhale here, and then an exhale to lift up and out, step the foot back. Beautiful, okay. Inhale to rise, exhale to step. Inhale whilst you're here, and then an exhale, lift up and out, and again, send the foot back. Now, you don't have to go at that pace, you don't have to go with that kind of arrangement with the breath. Find a way that works for you, okay? Move in a way that serves. And all it is a sink back to your child's pose, stepping one foot forwards into that kind of lizard lunge, and then again, stepping it back into that child's pose. Beautiful. And then Ken, what you could do here, if you wanted to explore that openness within the hips a little bit more, is as you step the foot forwards, is maybe incorporate a little bit more of a pause, and you might have a bit of a wriggle of the hips from side to side. If you want to rise up a little bit more, you can have a block underneath the hands just to give you a little bit more space. And then again, send it back. Child's pose, take it over to the other side. Beautiful, okay? And perhaps building up just a little bit of heat here, a bit more dynamic movements perhaps, okay? Nice. Now you're more than welcome to keep this exactly as it is, or perhaps instead of coming to your child's pose, it's going to be a downward facing dog. So as you step the foot back, it's a tuck of the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips. And of course you can take a moment here just to pedal out through the feet a little bit, maybe taking a big breath in, big breath out. Then from here might be a slight bend through the knees. Okay, think about, again, sinking the hips towards the heels, so it's like an active child's pose. And then again, launch the foot forward to the outside edge of the hand, keeping the back knee lifted. Nice. And then again, lift the hips, step that foot back, downward facing dog. Repeating that again, sinking through the knees, active child's pose. Shift weight forwards, launch the other foot, active lizard lunge. Beautifully well done. And again, taking the hips up high, stepping it back, down dog. And again, that's the pattern you're just going to stay with for a few moments, all right? And again, there might be moments where it feels, again, like a bit of a stretch. Nice. If you want to come back to that child's pose variation, keeping the knees down, then okay, by all means. If you're happy with that down dog variation, again, just take it at your own pace. How does the breath kind of marry the movements? How can we bring these things together to aid the movement, perhaps? The breath carrying you through, even with that step through. It doesn't need to be that kind of real big stomp of the foot forward. It's just kind of guiding the foot through as best as you can. And that's it, step it to the outside edge of the hand so you've got a bit more space here. Beautifully well done. Okay, couple more times, side to side. And again, as you step the foot forwards, think about hips low, heart high. Let the collarbone smile out ahead of you. Beautiful, and then again, step it back. Nice, really well done. Okay, and then from here, we're all going to finish with the left foot forwards, all right? So when you're ready to, again, you're stepping that left foot forwards into that lizard lunge. Nice, okay. Maybe you're happy to stay high up onto the fingertips, and again, you might bring a block in underneath you here, up to you. Let's take a big breath in. Big breath out. You're gonna go for one more inhale. One more exhale. Super, pop that back knee down if you haven't already. You can take the block with you if you'd like. You're actually going to send it to the back of the mat. So you're going to slowly spin on this right knee, swing that right ankle back behind you. Take the block, as I say, if you wish. Right hand coming down to the back of the mat, and then your left arm is going to sweep wide and up to the sky into your modified wild thing, okay? And you might have been feeling kind of some compression across the front of these left hip flexors, all right? So you can see how it feels to drive the hips up to the sky. Open across that gorgeous heart of yours, beautiful. Take another big breath in, big breath out. Nice. Now from here, circle that left arm down. You're going to bring it all the way back to the top, and again, take that block with you, okay? Bring that block now to the inside of this left ankle, perhaps to lowest, middle, maybe even highest setting, we'll see. Make sure that right knee is comfortable back behind you. You're going to think about pressing the back of this left arm into the inside of this left knee, and vice versa. And then you're going to take your right arm up to the sky, okay? Sink into that left knee as much as feels comfortable. The more you think about gliding the hips forwards and down to the top of the mat, and again, more of a stretch you're going to feel through the inner left thigh. And perhaps imagine the back is flat up against the wall behind you. If you need a bit more height, you're more than welcome to bring forearm to the thigh instead, or bring the block up to a higher height. That's cool. Nice. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Beautiful. From here, you're going to circle that right arm back and down. Okay, circle it to the back of the room. Gradually comes down to the earth. Now gently pivot on that right knee to swing those right toes straight back behind you. Again, reset the knee if needs be. You can leave the block behind now as you're going to take it up into your low lunge. Left foot might wriggle a bit more towards the center just so you're a bit more grounded. And then perhaps gliding the hips forwards and down here. Beautiful, okay? So we haven't got the hands to the earth to help us out. We're just all through the legs, maybe a little hug of the thighs towards one another, and keeping that tuck of the tailbone under, so hopefully really feeling this across the front of that right hip flexor, all right? Nice. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Beautiful. And then of course, just to finish off this little sequence, let's let it be that half split. Okay, so you're gonna bring fingertips down to the earth, start to lengthen that right leg, bring the block back in underneath you, of course. Hips are gonna come over that right knee, maybe left toes lift up to the sky. Beautiful. Hands could also come to the hips to rise you up a bit higher, and again, it makes it a bit more active. Up to you. What do you prefer? Where do you feel the most spacious? Where do you feel the most held, the most supported? Okay, beautiful. Nice, and as you perhaps move through that sequence, maybe again where there was this sense of taking up a bit more space, expanding more throughout the shapes. Think of what you've already journeyed through. Okay, that cow face where again you've got the legs tied up in a bit of a knot, all right? How did it feel to go from that to this more expansive, expressive movement? Okay, take one more big breath in. Big breath out. As you inhale, slowly bring it forward, sink into that left knee, either a child's pose or down dog, or leave it up to you, okay? But left foot's gonna go all the way back next to right. And if you're happy to take the hips up high, feel free to go ahead and do so. If you wanna keep it low down to the earth, then go ahead and do so. Beautiful. Okay. Nice, we've already moved through that sequence on the one side. Maybe that second side again is craving that same sense of release, that same sense of space. Okay. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Now you're gonna come through onto that second side, and you can move through it from your child's pose or your down dog, up to you. But ultimately you're gonna be stepping your right foot now towards the outside edge of that right hand. You might come through that active child's to again launch that right foot forwards. Beautiful. Back knee down or back knee lifted for these first few moments. Again, up to you, but think about hips low, heart space high, smiling the collarbones forwards like you're ready to race. Beautiful. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's go for another big breath in. And that big breath out. Beautiful. You're going to pop that left knee down to the earth if you haven't already. And again, you can take a block with you to the back, spinning on that left knee, swing the left ankle to the right. Left hand comes all the way to the back of the mat, maybe with that block. And then that right arm sweeps up and above. And again, there is that little bit of compression across the front of these right hip flexors, right? So spin the hips up to the sky, spin the heart up to the sky. Maybe even let the head drop back a little bit here. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Super. And then you're going to circle your top arm down, that right arm down. And again, bring the block with you all the way back to the top of the mat as you sink into this right knee. And you're going to bring that block to the inside of this right ankle. Okay. So the back of that right arm presses into the inside of the knee also presses into the arm. When you're ready to, you're going to send that left shoulder back, left arm up to the sky, so it's like your mini side angle here. The more you sink into this right knee, the more you glide the hips forwards and down, the more you're going to get into that external rotation, that lengthening through the inner right thigh. Beautiful, okay? Nice, and again, let's think about the back being flat up against a wall here. Energy reaching out to those left fingertips maybe. Perhaps seeing how it feels to perhaps spy those left fingertips. Okay. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Quite simply from here, circle that left arm back and down. Take your time with it. And then from here, you're going to gently pivot on this left knee, swing those left toes straight back behind you. Block can come to the side, right foot might wriggle a little bit more towards the center. It's that low lunge. Brush the fingertips along the earth. And again, there might be this rise up high. Then as you exhale, that glide of the hips forwards and down. And again, it's this expansive movement. You can send as much energy out to the fingertips as you wish. Maybe setting those shoulders back and down, lift up to the heart space. Beautiful. And again, maybe a little hug of the thighs towards one another, like you're drawing into the midline of the body, just so you're still nice and rooted. Okay. Beautiful. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. You're going to slowly dive it down, and let's take that little half split stretch. So again, you can bring the block back in underneath you, lifting those right toes up to the sky. Nice. Block to the inside of that right ankle. Okay, and again, it could be hands to hips if you prefer to rise yourself up a bit higher. Maybe you're really driving that right heel down to the earth. Maybe that's helping to anchor you here. Nice. Lengthen through the leg, lengthen through the spine, best as we can. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to slowly sink into this right knee. Let's again bring the block out ahead of you. Your choice, down dog or child's pose. I'll let you decide whatever it is that you feel the most drawn to, okay? Okay. And in a moment or so, we will be finding our feet here, just so you get a sense of where we're going. But again, be where you want to be right now. Nice. Whether that's hips resting back towards the heels, heart space diving down to the earth. Or maybe you're sending the hips up high to the sky, pressing the belly to the thighs, heart to the shins. Up to you. Find freedom, find spaciousness in your own way. What does that look like for you? What does that feel like for you? One more big breath in. Big breath out. Okay. And this is where we're going to slowly make our way to a standing forward fold at the top of the mat. So if you're in that down dog, maybe it's a gradual walk of the feet forwards. If you're in that child's pose, tucking the toes under, lifting the knees, and then slowly walking the feet in underneath you. But then just letting the upper body hang heavy over the legs. Beautiful. We spent a lot of time this morning kind of low down towards the earth. It's our first little moment of finding our feet, but again, still diving up and over. Beautiful. Maybe you're finding a bit more of a release through the lower back. Maybe it's through the back of the neck. Perhaps there's that pose and stretch through the hamstrings. Okay. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Okay. And then from here, you're going to bend through the knees. You're going to slowly roll it all the way up through the spine. Take your time, take your time. Drag this out as much as you wish to. And then, of course, the head is the final thing to lift. Melt those shoulders down and away. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take that nice big stretch up to the sky. Big sweep of the arms up. Root down to the feet to send energy out to those fingertips. And again, feel that kind of draw in two different directions. Gravity rooting you, but there's this new energy drawing you up high. Nice. Take another big breath in. And as you exhale, quite simply, it's that swan dive. You're going to open the arms, hinge at the hips, dive it back into that fold. Beautiful. Inhale, have a little halfway lift, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, dive it back down into your fold. Nice. You're going to bend through the knees, plant the hands down towards the earth. You're going to walk the feet back either into your full plank or maybe just modify, okay? You can pop the knees down straight away if you wish to. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, again, maybe it's with the knees down, you're going to just safely and softly bring hips and chest down towards the mat. Remember, it's our Sunday, okay? We don't have to do anything too strenuous here. And then you're going to come into your back bend of choice. So whether that's your Sphinx with your forearms down to the earth, or maybe you want to rise up to your cobra, either baby or full cobra, up to you, okay? But wherever you are in this heart opener, shoulders melt down and away from those ears, okay? Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Beautiful. You're going to slowly ripple the heart space all the way down towards the earth. And then we're all just going to have a moment to prop ourselves up onto our left forearm. Okay, so left forearm comes in front of you. And then again, lift the chest, all right? From here, start to bend through the right knee, draw the right heel in. Let's see if that right hand maybe wants to reach back for those right toes. If you can comfortably reach back for those right toes, you're going to draw the heel in a smidge more, okay? And then drive the hips down to the earth. So a little sneaky engagement through the back body, through the glutes to drive the hips down towards the mat. You're not here for too long, okay? Beautiful. So you're reaching your right hand to your right foot, right hand to your right foot. Nice. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Beautiful. From here, release that right foot, but keep the toes pointed up to the sky. Right hand comes down towards the earth underneath the shoulder. And then you're going to send your left arm out to your left hand side, all right? And then from here, you're going to keep your left palm down to the earth. You're going to press down through those right fingertips. See how it feels to roll to the left, maybe stepping that right foot back behind you. Let the head rest down towards the earth. So your left arm stays reaching out to the left side of the room. Beautiful. Palm of the hand down towards the earth as best as you can. Okay, nice. And depending on how spacious we're feeling here this morning, if you wanted to go ahead and send your right arm up to the sky, you could do. And then let that right arm kind of hang heavy back behind you before you immediately wrap it around the lower spine. Let it hang heavy. Think about squeezing the shoulder blades together. It's almost like you want to bring the backs of the hands together here. Nice. Take a breath. Then as you exhale, wrap the arm around. So you're kind of dragging out that transition a little bit. Gives you a little bit more of an opening across the chest. Beautiful. Okay. One more slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. From here, gradually release that right hand all the way back down towards the mat. Use that to carefully roll all the way back onto your bellies, releasing that right leg down next to left. Little wriggle to those left fingertips as you gradually drag that left hand back in, and then bring the right forearm underneath you. Okay, and again, start to prop the chest up. Bending to the left knee, squeeze the left heel towards you, left hand reach into left toes, okay? And again, you're going to draw the heel in towards your bum, drive the hips down towards the earth, collarbone smiling out ahead still. Beautiful. Okay. And again, it's that engagement through the glutes, that drive of the hips down that's really going to ignite the front of that left thigh and those hip flexors. Keep the chest lifted just as best as you can. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Super, releasing that left foot, but keep the toes pointed up to the sky. Left hand underneath the left shoulder, and you're going to send your right arm out to your right hand side. And again, you're going to keep that right palm flat down to the earth as best as you can. As you press down through the left hand, little roll to your right. And seeing how it feels to maybe step that left foot back behind you. And if that left foot doesn't quite come down to the earth, you can again stack the knees, stack the ankles, rest them on top of one another. Beautiful. And again, if you're feeling fairly spacious here, you might want to send that left arm up to the sky. And then maybe again, where you let that left arm just kind of hang back, it hovers in the air, keep the arm long. You're going to feel that squeeze the shoulder blades together. It's like you want to bring the backs of the hands together here. Take another breath in. Then as you exhale, wrap that left arm around the lower spine. So again, it just drags out that transition a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay, nice. And take another slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Gradually release that left hand all the way back down to the mat, and again carefully come all the way back onto your belly. It's beautiful. Perhaps a little wriggle through the right fingertips as you slowly drag that right hand back in. Beautiful. And then nice and easy as you bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Perhaps it's a slow peel of the head and heart away from the earth. Melt it back into your child's pose from here, hips to heels. Beautiful. Okay. And maybe you want to keep the fingertips reaching out ahead of you. It might actually feel quite nice to reach the fingertips back towards your toes, kind of either side of the legs, or to the outside of the legs rather. Nice, provides a bit more of a rounding through the lower back, kind of curls yourself up a little bit more. Beautiful. Nice, and again, just let the forehead land as best as you can. Let the hips rest back as best as you can. Take a big drink of breath in. Big breath out. One more big breath in. Big breath out. And then from here, in the simplest, most convenient way possible, you're going to rise from your child's pose and you're going to quite simply make your way back onto your backs. I don't really mind how you get there. And again, you can add in anything else that might be needed. You can use this time to put on any extra cozy layers. Beautiful. Nice. Have a few sips of tea, of course, by all means. Nice. And then slowly coming all the way down onto your backs. And even as you get there, maybe there's still a few things you want to move through. Maybe again, you want to draw the thighs into the belly. Maybe you again want to curl yourself up into a little ball. Maybe you again want to take a spinal twist or let both legs extend up to the sky. Notice these little hints of freedom, spaciousness, and maybe as you come to perhaps a very similar place to how you started, again lying down, perhaps it feels entirely different here. Maybe again there is this soft spark of newness within. And again, it doesn't need to feel dramatic. Perhaps it's so subtle. And again, only you are going to notice it. Only you are going to feel it. And that's all that it needs to be. These differences, these shifts here and there, they don't necessarily need to be visible to the outside eye. This practice, this moment is here for you. So again, only you need to notice it. Only you need to feel it. And after all, no one else is going to experience this in the same way you do. So again, bask in this, bask in these few moments of nothingness. Nothing left to be done. Nowhere else you need to be. Just this. And maybe that pull of gravity feels somewhat stronger here, rooting you even more. Maybe you find this place of ease, of calm, quiet, with a bit more ease, maybe. But as always, land. In the exact same way you did right at the beginning, just let yourself melt here. a slow, steady drink of breath in through the nose. And softly sigh out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One final time, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And slowly welcoming these little bits of movements back into the body. Wriggling through the fingertips, the toes, the wrists and the ankles. And of course, allowing that movement to gradually build into anything you'd like it to be. Taking a stretch, curling yourself up, or perhaps barely moving at all, that's okay too. And then when you're ready, choosing a side, the left or the right, rolling all the way over towards that one side. And then use your hands to help you to rise up to a comfortable seat. And then just letting those sit bones nestle down towards the mats, palms of the hands land towards the knees, glide those shoulders down and away from those ears. Closing the eyes and sealing the practice as we always do with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, the palms of the hands come together in front of the heart. And we softly bow. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Is everyone feeling okay? Sleepy. Sleepy. Oh, thank you so much, honeys. Have a gorgeous rest of your Sunday, whatever it is you get up to, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, honeys, for joining me for that delightful little slow flow practice, and I hope you felt like you were in the room with us all as well. Have a gorgeous rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.